Do I look like a gardener to you? I am a better, I am not a gardener. Hedging is for gardens. How does your garden grow?
With plus money.
With plus money. Hedging is for gardens.
Welcome in everyone to Betting Weekly Live Champions League special. You with Steve Wyss and Nigel Seeley. It's Tuesday the 9th of December. Match day number 6 of the Champions League. Nigel, I do believe it is now. The final Champions League round of 2025. How are you doing? Are you excited?
I'm very well, mate. Looking forward to this one. It feels like a long time that I've been on these shows, and I know that the people who watch the show will be pleased to hear that I haven't been on it for a long time. But no, it has felt like a bit of a while that I haven't been on. But I love these Champions League nights. We have had a good record on the Champions League nights in the last recent matches. Both myself and Will have been doing very well on this show. It's great to have so many people into the chat. Get your comments in. We want to hear what you have to say. And the move was what is even better, having new faces coming into the show and making their points as well. So obviously, yep, get any questions in and go through the cards. Done a lot of homework today. A few bets I like. I've gone a little bit conservative on my daily double, but I'm very confident that we're going to cash.
Yeah, welcoming everyone. So many of you in already with your comments, and it's going to go a bit mental today. I know I'm not going to go through everything, but trust me, I'll read them all. And there's often so many good bet suggestions in the chat. But I want to welcome everyone in, and we'll be getting a lot of the questions that are being asked will be answered naturally anyway. We're certainly looking forward to Nigel's opinion on the ridiculously high goal line in the Barca game. That we will come to that one. There's a match, of course, already underway. We're half an hour, 32 minutes in. Kairat against Olympiakos, which is, it's the time zone over there is there's such a big difference that I guess they have to start this early this time of year, Nigel, otherwise they'll freeze to death. I've had half an hour in the game. It is 0-0. I don't know if there's anything that catches your eye in play at all.
Well, it's quite an end-to-end game for a 0-0 draw. For a 0-0 game. Kairat is a big outsider, $9, and Olympiakos are minus 278. If you watch the first 31 minutes, I don't think there's that much of a discrepancy between the two sides. Obviously, it's on a plastic pitch, which Kairat have got a big advantage on, plus for 850. Total goal line is now moved to 1.5. I just give you my pre-match thoughts on it. I actually wanted to bet the unders. I'm not just saying that because we're 32 match. I'm not just 32 minutes into the match. But I did like the unders because it's so cold. It's like about -2, -3 currently. Tomorrow, if it's played this time tomorrow, it'd be -9, and the temperature got down to -16 in Kazakhstan. When you consider in Athens right now, it's 18 degrees and sunny. To go there and play in these conditions it was the reasoning I wanted to play the unders. And perhaps Kairat on the handicap will be the way to go in play. Just one thing before we move on to that. I know it's in play. Download the BetRivers app, watch that match there, and you can live stream it as well. Just one interesting thing here about the referee. Juan Martinez Manera. He's the referee. His first match is refereed in the Champions League, but in Europa League this season and in the Europa Conference League this season, he's refereed 4 matches and he's given 2 red cards. In all Almaty matches this season, 40 games, 33% of their matches this season have seen a red card. And in Olympiakos' matches this season, 25% of their matches have seen a red card. And in the Champions League this season, 5 matches so far, an Olympiakos matches, and 2 spending offs and red cards. So that would be my angle. Obviously, in the first half, if you play the bookings, they're usually quite tentative. But in the second half, I expect this Spanish referee to get some cards out. So that might be an in-play action if you can get on the bookings market. But I do think, at this moment in time, Olympiakos having the better of it. But minus 278 does seem very, very short.
Yeah, there's actually been 10 fouls already. He's only given 1 card. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if in the second half he goes a bit crazy and card happy. That's for sure. But yeah, Giuseppe saying minus 20 degrees over in Astana there. And that's Celsius, by the way. How can you play in such conditions? Well, you just got to, for want of a better word, they've got to get on with it, graft. And that's life. Sometimes you've got to get on with the sporting event, haven't you? Just before we move on to some other Champions League action today, notable winners and losers yesterday. The Eagles did not serve the bettors particularly well. Biggest plays in the NFL there, losing against the Chargers on the money line and also minus 2.5. $10,000 loser on the Timberwolves as well, money line on the sports book. But a good day for soccer bettors, Nigel. Biggest bet, Man United to score in the first half, $15,000 at -182. Comfortable winner. Someone betting $8,000 on Man United live to have the next corner. I've no idea at what minute, but it was a winner at -149. So, good winner there. Wolves to get the most cards was a winner, $5,000. And Udinese, Genoa, both teams score yes at +114. But Man United delivered. Wolves, it was one of the worst. Shocking defending, I thought, from Wolves yesterday. But we crack on with bets for the Champions League. Let's have a look at the Champions League table. This is how things were before the start of the Kairat game. And just one team with 100% record, that is Arsenal. Ajax still looking for their first point on the board. You've got to get in that top 24 to qualify for the next round, and the top 8, and you will get a bye for the playoff round, which is an advantage for certain teams. Although PSG, of course, won the competition, avoiding the top 8 last season, only just qualified. Let's start with action in Germany. Bayern Munich against Sporting. Bayern Munich, the clear favourites here to prevail. They're -500 actually now with Bet River, so they've been backed in, and Sporting a +1050. Over 3.5 goals at -103. That's actually going to tempt quite a lot of people in, I'd imagine, Nigel, because Bayern games have been a glutton for goals this season.
Yeah, I mean, since they lost against Arsenal 3-1, a match I was at, the last Champions League match, they've been in great form, winning 3, scored 11 goals. I mean, Harry Kane come on as a sub in the 60th minute of the weekend against Empoli and scored a hat-trick. The guy is absolutely on fire. I like Harry Kane to get on the score sheet here, but you're not going to get much money for your buck. I like him to score 2 or more, which is, I think, the best way to play these prolific goal scorers. And the Haalands, the Mbappes, and the Kanes. 2 or more will be the angle here. Sporting Lisbon, though, I do think they've got a goal in them. If you look at Bayern Munich this season, they do like to concede. They do concede a goal. I think both teams to score yes is an interesting one here at -112. They went to Napoli and they lost 2-1. They scored. They drew 1-1 with the Juventus on the road. Scored again there. Bayern Munich this season's conceded in 6 of their last 7 matches. So they do give up a goal. But the tendency is they score 3, 4, 5. And that's why there is going to be goals in this match. The line is 3.5. I wouldn't put anybody off betting the over 3.5. I expect Munich to win this fairly comfortably. And I do expect the visitors to contribute to the goal action. 14 of 22 matches this season for Bayern Munich. Both teams have scored has been a yes. So if you look at those odds of -112, that's a little bit of value. And if you look at Bayern Munich, it's last in 22 matches this season in all competitions. Every single match has cashed over 2.5 goals. So 100% ratio on the 2.5 goals. And if you look at over 3.5, it's 16 from the 22 that have seen over 3.5 goals cash. So plus 107, I think it's over 3.5. I think it's plus 107. Oh, it's been bet now into -103. -103 still represents value. And this is the first leg of my daily double, Steve. And as you say, I'm going to be a little bit cautious here. I'm going to stick in over 2.5 goals. It's short, but in the next match I'm going to talk about as well, which would boost the daily double up, I think it's value. There hasn't been one Bayern Munich match this season that hasn't seen at least 3 goals scored. And I think it's a nice bet in a match I expect lots and lots of goals. So my daily double first pick is over 2.5 goals in Bayern Munich against Sporting Lisbon. I wouldn't put anyone off betting over 3.5. And I also like both teams to score yes at -112 in a match that just screams goals.
It certainly does. This is going to be the first part of your daily double. Like you say, over 2.5 goals there. I think there's a poll that's been put up in the YouTube channel, and there's going to be loads of those today. Let us know your opinions. Over 3.5 goals or under 3.5 goals is the poll for this one, but there'll be several throughout the whole show in several games. Someone was asking, Foxy was asking thoughts on the Bayern -2 handicap, and to be honest, I wouldn't put off anyone betting on that because Bayern are just a machine.
I'd be slightly worried the fact that, Steve, I'm sorry, I'd be slightly worried about that one just because they concede so many goals. And I think when you bet teams with 2.5 handicaps, you want to bet teams at high handicaps that you know it's very likely they're not going to concede. The fact that they're going to concede means they've got to score, 4 to cover it. So I think there's better options to bet them, the totals themselves, because Bayern could cover that themselves. But I think that when you play big handicaps and there is a likelihood that you are going to concede goals, that worries me. And I think that's something you want to be a little bit careful of if you're playing the high handicaps on some of these matches today, because you're much better off if a team can keep a clean sheet and win 3-4 rather than have the pressure of conceding and then going again and score 3 goals to cover, just cover, not to cover, just to hit the push. So, yeah, I'll be worried about that.
King Devil says Bayern to win both halves. I've seen the Bayern team total over 2.5 goals flagged up by a lot of people here, -120. For that one. Harry Kane to score, by the way, in the game is -195. To score 2 goals or more, +220. And the hat-trick for Kane is +700. Actually 22-1 to score 4 or more goals. And Bet Rivers are even offering in 5 or more goals at 90-1 with Bet Rivers for Harry Kane to score 5 or more goals today.
Well, he's got the incentive, hasn't he? He's behind Mbappe in the race for the top goal scorer in the Champions League. A big match here, a hat trick. They remind me now that these goal scorers remind me of the glory days of Messi and Ronaldo. When we said it so many times, but one week Messi would score a hat trick, and then on the Tuesday and on the Wednesday Ronaldo would score a hat trick. They're pushing each other to go the better. And those two did the same, and that's exactly what's happening with Mbappe, Haaland, and Kane. Their levels are so good because they've got this competition. And they all want to be the top goal scorer in this competition. So it would. I genuinely think those goal scorer bets, though, the better value is on the 2 or more rather than the. Definitely. I think the market has caught up now with to score at any time. So the -$2, -220, -195. But I do think the +220 for 2 or more, and for all those kind of players, is where you want to be concentrating if you're looking at goal scorers.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some ridiculous stuff recently where people are actually hedging on the score 2 or more and hat trick if there's an early goal scored by a player. It's incredible what you can do these days. But anyway, 93% of the money's on Bayern Munich, 98% of the tickets, 97% of the money's on the over. Biggest bet on the game on the sportsbook is on that both teams score, yes, that you mentioned there, Nigel, at -115, nearly $2,000 on that play. So
Giuseppe makes a good point, though. Sporting have got a lot of players out suspended or injured for this. So all their attacking players are missing, which is a big blow for the both teams to score. Yes, but I just think statistically that Bayern Munich give up chances, and they give up a lot of shots as well. So there is an opportunity for goals, and they do come a little bit lackadaisical when they go 4 or 5 up. They take their foot off the gas, concede. The way they play, they like to play it about, which makes a lot of errors, and Sporting could capitalise on that. But for me, over 2.5 goals. Sure, I think it's about -235. I think it is something like that. But it's in the daily double to boost it up to a nice plus money bet.
Pro Soccer Bets Club says Bayern -1 in the first half, +130. I think he likes Barcelona in that same market as well. These are the dojo out this week. 45 minutes that'll be out, Stuart.
Yeah.
So look out for that one.
It's quite a good dojo. We're very, very heavily American focused, looking at the World Cup, the implications, how much money's going to be about in the World Cup. Looking at the NFL this week, where some monster bets were landed all across the America, and also Neil Channing's never watched Home Alone. Can you believe that? Never watched Home Alone.
That's
never watched
incredible.
Home Alone.
Yeah,
that
is.
That's incredible. Or Die Hard. Never seen Die Hard either.
Get out.
Never seen Die
You've
Hard.
never seen Die Hard?
Never seen Die Hard or Home Alone or Elf.
Wow. Die Hard, one of the best movies there's ever been. Is it a Christmas movie, though, Nigel?
We both agree, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's the question. All right, we'll move on to a team that's been letting plenty of bettors down in the last couple of matches, and that is Chelsea, who travelled to Bergamo in Italy to face Atalanta, +235 on the home team here. The tie, +245. A team that's been looking quite good, especially since the change of their manager, Chelsea. I mean, what sort of 11 are we going to see from Chelsea today, Nigel? They really have not looked good against Leeds and Bournemouth. It's as simple as that. Are they going to rebound in this one?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be betting them, no, but someone is. They have been bet with Bet Rivers. I can imagine a lot of the handle going to be on Chelsea here. The club world champions, they're +114. That's been a bit of a nibble today. Atalanta out to +240 and the tie 245. Atalanta were very disappointing the weekend, losing 3-1 to Verona after what was a good, decent run. We had a little bit of a rebase on our ratings, and they've gone back a little bit now. They've only lost 1 in 5 Champions League, which is pretty good for them. No wins in 3 for Chelsea, and it sort of coincided since Cole Palmer's come back. I mean, are they trying to change their system to get Cole Palmer back into the team? Have they rushed him a little bit too early to get him back? I don't know, but I don't think Chelsea, the manager or the fans, know what start 11 is going to take to the pitch. And I think that's a real worry. You need to have at least 7 or 8, maybe 8 starters and just change 3 or 4 around. It's the problem with Liverpool. We don't know what team they're going to start with as well. So interesting one, this. All Chelsea's wins in the Champions League this season have been at home. On the road, no wins at all. Poor form. Poor in the weekend, 0-0 against Bournemouth here. Looking around, where do we go? I think this is open to the channel. I have absolutely no real opinion on how this match will go. I think the team news is crucial, and when he does announce his side, if you see the likes of Reece James and Cole Palmer and Enzo and all the big guns playing, then I would expect they will be bet. But it is impossible to second guess what side Marescu puts out, and for that reason, now. What are we now? We're a couple of hours away, so 2.5 hours away from kickoff. I think you'd be a very brave man or lady to have a bet on this match now without knowing the team.
I agree. I think you've got to see what that Chelsea 11 is. They haven't impressed away from home yet in Europe this season. I mean, they lose to Bayern Munich 3-1. We'll let them off that one. 2-2 draw at Karabakh is not particularly impressive, although I think that day, again, they certainly put in the same defence that was at Leeds. So I don't think the manager's going to be doing that against Atalanta. They're a tough side, Atalanta. I never worked them out very well. And the recent manager changes. What I will say with the recent manager changes, it seems to maybe unlock a bit more of their goal scoring potential, though. But still, they're still finding an identity. And I wouldn't want to bet on this game. There is 92% of the money on Chelsea, though. 92% of the tickets as well. Just 55% of the money on the over, Nigel, which would suggest that there's more sort of perhaps under support for this game. Someone put unders up in chat, actually, as a potential bet. The goal line's at 2.75, though, I do believe. 2.75 to 2.5.
I mean, just if you look at Chelsea, I mean, Chelsea have played 12 matches on the road this season. And if you look at who they've beaten, they've only beaten really low level, like English sides. West Ham, a team in the relegation zone. They went to Lincoln and won in the League Cup, but struggled. They beat Nottingham Forest, another team languishing at the bottom of the table. Wolves, the worst team in the Premier League. Tottenham, which everyone goes to Tottenham and wins. And Burnley. That's their only wins. So they have only beaten teams in the bottom 5 in the Premier League. A team from League 2 and a League 1, sorry, and a Tottenham side that were awful that day. So relying on, and they haven't won away in Europe. So I think it's a 1 plus 115 is something that or plus 114 would be a price I wouldn't touch.
Hey, on the poll that's gone out on the channel, 35% think the draw in this game. That's quite high, actually. So maybe that's something that you could look at here at plus 245. Biggest bet on the game is in the corners market, actually. Over 3.5 corners for Atalanta at minus 120. Got to say, I didn't really look at the corners in this match, but good luck to that particular bettor. As a reminder, actually, today, in terms of house specials and stuff, we do have one in the Barcelona game, but also the UCL Matchday Profit Boost Pack. Log into Bet Rivers on any UEFA Champions League matchday to receive a Profit Boost Pack consisting of 3 boosts. There's a live wager boost, there's a same game parlay boost, and the standard wagers boost as well. See the Bet Rivers app or website for full details, but they do have that offer on every single Champions League match day. We will now go to Belgium. Royal Union Saint-Gilloise against Marseille. And we've got the Belgium hosts here at plus 200. Marseille at plus 132. Over 2.5 goals at minus 132. I think Marseille look quite a big price here. Myself, Nigel, they're not the most reliable team in Champions League. But I think beating Newcastle last time out will give them a big boost. And yeah, they're away from home, but it's neutral ground. That's the thing, as always is the case with RUSG. Marseille have tempted me in too much here on the minus a quarter ball handicap. But even money, it's one of those where I just think they will have too much quality and class for the Belgian side. And I expected Marseille actually to be about plus 110 on the money line. Have you got any thoughts on this one?
Well, we do have a form line, don't we? That Newcastle. Both Newcastle have been to both of these sides away in the Champions League. They went to Belgium and beat Union 4-0, and then they went to Marseille and lost 2-1. So that's a form. That's a tip in itself in terms of if you want to look at the form line between the Newcastle match and this match here. I think the market for Union is only there because everybody's had a little bit of rebase after they've done the smash and grab against Galatasaray last time. No one would expect them to have gone to Turkey and won that match. They won that match, and that's why there is a little bit of sort of interest in on the betting market. If they hadn't won that match, I would expect Marseille to start this match on the money line around about even money. They're not. They're plus 132 last I looked, which I thought perhaps potentially was a decent bet. But on my notes here, I've got Marseille have Monaco at the weekend, which is quite, it's a biggish match at the top of the table, which is I always don't like to bet teams have such that's not a massive match, but it's a big match. But I've got here, leave this one to the meat man. That's what I've got written down here. So I think you'll be much better in a position to let me give your opinion on this. But I do think the Newcastle form line is interesting, and I do think the reason why Marseille are the price they are and Union are a lot shorter than we would expect in the betting, purely and simply because Union went to Galatasaray but they should never have won that match, but they did.
I think you nailed it with that game though. The upcoming game for Galatasaray was against Fenerbahce, wasn't it? And
yeah, but I didn't expect Union to win. I think we were getting like plus 1.25 goals. I thought it would be a 1-0 scrappy win, but to get the win itself was a brilliant performance. But it was the statistics never. They should never have got anything.
They shouldn't. I don't think they're that great aside. Peter Jarkin said, "Can't trust Marseille with my life." Wasn't it you, Peter, who put your house on Marseille against Ajax?
That's why he can't trust them because they lost. That's why they can't trust. Peter's living in a tent. That's why he can't trust.
And they wouldn't fall. I think it might have been someone else actually, but I don't know. It's I know what you mean. But back in Marseille in the Champions League can be a bit of a difficult
and also away, aren't they? They're not. They're such a home side on away from home. I don't really like them, but it was Jean-Philippe. It was Jean-Philippe.
Jean-Philippe. Sorry, I got mixed up there. But look, I think Marseille minus a quarter of a ball. That's a good bet. I don't think they'll lose to RUSG at all. And we're looking again at the player props market here. The match is played at Lotto Park, so bonus ball pick here.
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood, he has gone goalless in his last 3 games. He's plus 160 to score. He's the sort of fella who doesn't go longer than 4 games without scoring very often.
Marseille, see this statistic that's Troy's probably. Marseille have lost 12 of its last 13 Champions League away matches. Oh,
those date back.
You're on your own here, Steve. I'm trying
to think who the win was against now.
Looking by the chat, you're on your own here. Sorry.
I'm trying to think who the actual Marseille win was against away from home. And I think it was... I'm still thinking about it, actually. Someone probably put it up in chat. But, that's actually a terrible record in the Champions League. It's some betting splits for the game. And where am I here? Getting mixed up completely. 55% of the money's on Royal Union Saint-Gilloise and 51% of the tickets are on Marseille. So basically, that's a 50-50 split down the middle. And, it's not a 50-50 split here. I don't think anyone trusts Marseille. Who would bet RUSG, though? That's my question out there. Would anyone bet on RUSG on the money line or the plus quarter handicap? I think it's one of those where most would expect Marseille certainly not to lose the game. But I totally get why the trust isn't there because of the previous records. So,
I think someone just put that James Easton will be betting Marseille. He is. He is betting Marseille tonight. Which
is he?
2 of the best French judges in the land, Steve and James, want to be on Marseille. That's a tip in itself, really. But those statistics aren't interesting. They're very, very, very. It's very hard to make a case because they are so home reliant, and I think both these sides are swervy. I'll go with you, Steve, because you're the main man in this league, but I'd be reluctant. Just give you an update before we move on to the next game. It's half time in the Kairat Almaty match. There's 141 bets available on the Bet Rivers app. If you want to download that, you can watch the second half. Still 0-0. Almaty are $8. Olympiakos minus $2. The tie is plus 235. And the total goals now is over and under 1.5 at minus 115. And there's been 2 cards, which is pretty standard if you for looking at the averages. You're looking probably about over 3.5 in the second half. I'd pop if you can get that on. Obviously, Bet Rivers, depending on what state you are, and if you can get on the markets on the bookings, or if you can get on a red card, we do know that the referee is very, very card happy. And he let a couple of them go in that first half, so I think there might be a few cards in the second half. That's the way I'll be playing.
Yeah, good take there, Nigel. Aravinda Raga, just a random question here for you, Nigel. You bet on NBA ever?
I don't. I have done. There's not many sports that I haven't done in my time. But if somebody sent me a text and said to me, "Listen, I really like this NBA," I'll have a go. But I wouldn't say that I was an expert. I've been to a few NBA matches with my son, and I've had a bet on every one I've gone to. And I actually, to be fair, we've had a good strike rate. But there is one guy in the chat who I don't know if he's in here. He sends me some European basketball stuff, which I've given you in the past, Steve, and he's absolutely different.
Dante.
Dante.
He's brilliant.
Oh,
he's absolutely
brilliant.
Incredible.
Giving me teams that are like 23 dogs, and they've won on the money line. Incredible. But if anyone's got anything you like, let me know.
I think producer Troy put it on the screen 5 minutes ago, but please do. If you're new to the channel, I know there's a lot of newbies in here today, please subscribe. We are 7 subscribers away from 12,000.
Yeah, that'll be really good. And do you know what, Steve? We're actually we've got that milestone here, and we're also only about 20,000 views off 2 million.
Wow.
We could do that before Christmas. That'd be great.
20,000. I say we're 7 away. Yeah, just officially 7 away. So, I mean, you never know. We might be able to even get those 7 in before the end of the stream. But hit the like button as well. It really does help us. We would really appreciate your support in that way. But thanks, everyone.
Every time you always ask someone to subscribe to the channel or tell someone please to subscribe to it, there's always get one smart aleck or who unfollows you when you're like 1 away from. The minute I say congratulations, we got to 12,000 subscribers, within a second you always know you're going to lose 3 people. Someone trying to be funny, and then over there. But don't be funny. Be smart and subscribe to the channel.
If you're the 12,000 subscriber, you win a night out with. Let's have a think. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good prize for someone.
Sean Calvert, and you're paying. bring your wallet. You're not getting nothing off him.
Right. Okay. Big game. Huge game in Italy here. Inter against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool. I mean, there's so much talk about them recently with them. I mean, Arne Slot's the odds-on favourite to be the next manager out of a job in the Premier League. There's the Mo Salah situation. And, now that just to make matters worse, they've got to travel to Inter, who, a lot of people still rank them as the best team in Italy. It's as simple as that. And Inter are plus 100. They were bigger earlier in the week, but they were shorter today as well at certain points. I think they got down to minus 110 at one point today, back to even money now with Bet Rivers. Liverpool plus 265. What do you expect? That's actually minus 105 now. What do you expect Inter to kick off at here, Nigel?
I think they'll drift even further. I think they'll go to plus 105. I think they might even go bigger because the price of Inter now is saying that Inter are more or less the same rating as Liverpool. If this was the Champions League final, it would be a pick-up match. Obviously, Liverpool are going through a bad stage, but the Premier League is so strong that I think that Liverpool are probably edging a little bit of value at this current price. And I think they certainly were when they were Inter Milan were minus money. Now, you might think I'm mad to say that, but I think the Premier League is a beast. The one thing I do know is Liverpool are going to find it very hard not to stop Inter scoring, and Inter have got the best defence in this competition. But I also think that the Salah situation could be a good thing for Liverpool. To me, the coach has obviously had a falling out with their best player, and the comments there were that he's not happy. And he's unhappy with the coach, and the board seem to have backed the manager in this decision rather than the player. But let's be fair to Mo Salah; he's been a shadow of the player that he was last season. Ekitike has been arguably their best player. Florian Wirtz has got better as the season's gone on. In the last couple of games, he's been good, not great to start with. Isak's not fit, and we're taking a bit of time. But Mo Salah is down tools in this Liverpool team, and his performances haven't been great, and his performances warrant to be benched. Now you've got that sort of bad vibe away from the dressing room, and even the captain Virgil van Dijk come out and said, you've got to play for the shirt kind of thing, and he's more or less saying that Salah wasn't good enough. I don't know whether that galvanizes the team or not. The manager's under pressure. He's never probably been under any pressure anywhere in his career before. Last season, first season, win the title. But the Salah thing, I think, may be a positive Liverpool for negative for Liverpool. Do I think Liverpool could go there and win? At this moment in time, probably not. But I do think there's goals in the match. I do think Inter have got to go for them because they've got to get at them, and because they've got a very weak underbelly, and they've got to get involved. And I think there's good value. I think Lautaro Martinez to score any time is a great bet for Inter Milan. I think Inter Milan will score, but I just got a feeling that this price will drift a little bit because I think on the last minute, people will see the price of Liverpool, see the Asian handicap, see the sort of the Liverpool lines, and I think that there will be opposition against Inter because I think the price has flat, like gone to the bottom of the heck you can do. When we record Betting Weekly Betting Weekly Premier League on Thursday, into a plus 140 for this match. They've now gone to even money. I know Liverpool didn't play well against Leeds, but the main reason for that price move is because of Mo Salah interview, and he's not going. I don't think that warrants the move. I think Liverpool's defence warrants the move, the way they're playing, but Inter Milan haven't suddenly become, you know, they're in a title race this season. They're not running away with the Italian league. There's their city rivals. There's, you know, all the other, Roma at the top of the table. There's a lot of teams at the top of the table who could do well this season. And I just got a feeling that the price may have got a little bit short. I know you're keen on Inter, but I would want a little bit more than even money to beat Liverpool. I really would.
Yeah, I am keen on it, and you know, yesterday evening, I did the video for the Advent calendar. Shout out to the Instagram channel, by the way. We've had quite a few decent winners on that, and at that stage, it was my best bet of the day. There's a couple more I like better now. I prefer Marseille minus a quarter to Inter, and there's one in the Spurs game I prefer, but this would still be my third best bet of the day. I think Inter. My issue with Liverpool is the defense, Nigel. Really,
yeah.
It's just like Konate looks he makes too many mistakes. Van Dijk, I think, is put under a lot of pressure because of that. They've not really got a natural right back at the moment, and we know Kirkes, if he plays, has struggled there. And I think Inter are capable of winning a shootout. Someone put Real Brendan King. I'd be intrigued what Will White thinks of this game. Well, we do know that Will White has Inter ranked as by far the best Italian team. He's constantly said that. I don't know how he would rate it in terms of Inter compared to Liverpool. I'd imagine it plus 100 would probably be about fair, actually. Like you said, plus 140 earlier in the week. Sorry, last week. That looks massive now, doesn't it? If you got on that. And I think if you were betting on Inter at, say, minus 110 or shorter, I think you'd probably have to go no bet. If you can have a big bet on the game, man, maybe the minus a quarter of a ball handicap. I couldn't see Liverpool winning here. Just couldn't at this point in time.
I think you just got to think. I just think the way Liverpool play at this moment, you know, it's going to be an open game. I mean, they're conceding 3 goals against a Leeds side that haven't really got. Well, you watch them week in around. They haven't really got any striker to worry about. I think there's goals in the match. I think, you know, over 2.5 goals is minus 162. I could see this being another crazy match, 2-2 draw, that kind of thing. But I think Liverpool have to win it. I mean, look at the state of the league. They're 13th, Inter Milan are 4th. Inter don't necessarily have to win this match. This would have been on paper one of their toughest matches of the Champions League. They never thought they would have started. You know, if you thought Inter Milan would start this match at minus 104, and I think it's all to do with Salah. Liverpool have lost 9 of their last 15 matches, which is shocking, and conceded so many goals. But Inter Milan have just been bet now. They're minus 105 again. I couldn't bet Inter minus 105. They could. I think they're most likely winners, but purely from a value perspective, I think minus 105 is too short. I would go for props. I look for Lautaro Martinez to have 2 or more shots. I look for Martinez to score any time. I look for goals over 3.5 because Liverpool just won't keep a clean sheet. And then you look at Inter against English sides already this campaign, was it they played it last season? Sorry, Arsenal they beat 1-0 at the San Siro, and then they're the 0-0 draw with Man City. And now they've kept Man City and Arsenal both without scoring. So they have got the upper hand over English sides in this competition. They've got a brilliant record in the competition, finalists last year. But I just got to feed. I just think that Liverpool have slightly been undervalued because Mo Salah not travelling, and I don't think that's as negative as what we are led to believe. Last season it would have been huge. It would have been on the betting market. It would have been as much as Haaland not going. But this season, there's something wrong with Salah. He doesn't want to be there. So, and I think Liverpool will react better without him.
There is a danger of that in that he might have been causing a lot of trouble behind the scenes, and with him out of the way, maybe there's a reaction. We'll have to wait and see how this game goes. There's an interesting betting split actually. We've got 74% of the tickets are on Inter Milan, but 63% of the money's on Liverpool. So a split there. I don't know what that means. It would suggest perhaps more professional money is on Liverpool for the game at this point in time. But 95% of the money's on the over in this instance. The poll, by the way, we put in chat. No one's giving Liverpool a chance here. Just 13% of you are going to Liverpool on the money line. Over nearly 70% going Inter on the money line, minus 105. It's going to be an intriguing contest. Let's move on to the next event. It is down the south coast of France. It's Monaco against Galatasaray. Monaco, I can never get this side right. Them and Dortmund just do my head in, Nigel. Minus 113, though, for Monaco. I could never back them at these sort of odds. Galatasaray plus 280. I think this match is screaming out for goals, but the goal line is annoyingly high at plus 110 for over 3.5. I say I was on the overs on Friday night in the Monaco game. It ended 1-0, so you can bet your bottom dollar this one goes something crazy, Nigel.
Yeah, I like goals. 3.5 is a little bit too high. Monaco, as I said, did a bit of a bad run of form at the moment. 1 winning 5 in the Champions League, and that was home to Paris Saint-Germain. One winning 5 domestically, it was home to Paris Saint-Germain. In the Champions League, 2-2 draw against City and a 0-0 draw against Tottenham is their home form. They got Marseille away at the weekend. But for me, I think we are expecting goals. We're expecting goals, and 3.5 we're a little bit worried about. And we've got in Osama here, one of the best strikers in world football. And we've got a team here. He scored 2 at the weekend. Sane scored as well. Attacking-wise, Galatasaray are incredible. We know they had that shock defeat last time they played, which was a shock. But prior to that, they went to Ajax, won 3-0. Osman got a hat-trick. Liverpool, 1-0 home win as well. And I think this is the best goal-scoring bet on the card tonight, Osman to score at any time, because he's not that far away from the top 3. He's not that far. I think Mbappe, Kane and Haaland are in a league of their own, but he's second in the top goal scorer in the Champions League, behind Mbappe with 6 goals in 5 matches. Kane has got 5 and 5, Haaland 5 and 5, Mbappe is 9 in 5. Mbappe, Kane and Haaland are all minus 220, minus 250, minus $3. This guy is plus money. You can get plus 110 for him to score tonight. It's a game that we expect goals, and I think Osman is the best player prop of the evening this evening at plus 110 to score anytime. He is a beast. I think he should be playing at a lot higher level than the Turkish league. I think he'd be brilliant in the Premier League. I think he's a player that is destined to move at some stage. And I think this is a perfect showcase in a match which will be open. I expect a few goals. And the best striker on the pitch, who is in prolific form, who scored 6 in 5, including a hat-trick on the road, is plus 110 anytime. Compare that to the other 3. That's got to be the bet. That's my player prop of the night, Osman to score anytime tonight at plus 110.
Do you know what? That's a really good spot. I mean, I'm just comparing the odds here. Mika Biereth for Monaco, he's plus 120 to score. He scored 2 goals all season. And you got Osimhen at plus 110. I mean, I know who I'd rather be on.
It's massive.
It's ridiculous difference. Osimhen, for those who are interested in Osimhen to score 2 or more goals, he's plus 510, 24-1 for the hat-trick. And Bet Rivers are offering Victor Osimhen to score 4 or more goals at 130-1 for Victor Osimhen.
We might get a bit carried away. We did say the 2, but I mean, he at this moment in time, he would probably be like in the 6th most prolific goal scorer, top strikers in the world. I mean, Lewandowski probably ahead of him. I mean, his form is phenomenal in his competition, and he's hungry. He's on penalties as well, and you get plus money in a game that we expect goals in it. And I actually think Galatasaray got a good chance of winning this. I would be looking to fade Monaco. I haven't won at home in the Champions League, and Galatasaray could be anything. And he scored 2 at the weekend as well. Osman. He's been out injured, obviously come back and he's scoring goals. But at plus 110, I think that's a great bet. That's my best player prop.
I think it's a real shame that Nigeria are not going to be going into the World Cup. He would add a lot to the occasion in the USA next summer. 78% of the money on Monaco. 57% of the tickets on Galatasaray. It just surprises me how much of the money is on Monaco. I couldn't be backing them at odds on here. No way. Jose. Quite a lot of people liking the team total for Galatasaray here over 1.5 goals. He's plus money. Certainly can see the point there. And it's, that Osimhen bet of yours does look really good, Nigel. It must be said. We've got some team news from the Bayern game, Nigel. Thanks to producer John Izzard for these. Those are the lineups, and it's strong as expected from Bayern Munich there. Harry Kane, Elise, Leonard Carl, the Wunderkid.
What 17, a player he is.
Yeah, what an incredible player. 17-year-old. And then you got Nabry there as well. Sporting have got Alisson Santos. Jenny, I think, is that how you pronounce him, on the wing there, and Suarez up front. They are missing players there, are Sporting. Bayern Munich going with a really strong lineup. That is for sure. Let's switch.
I was looking at that Leonard
Yeah,
Carls.
sorry.
I was at that game, obviously, the game, the Emirates the game, and I thought he was absolutely sensational. Anyone who watched it, everyone knew about him. And he was brilliant. But it was the player that I thought. I know you don't like Germany to win the World Cup or do well in the World Cup. You think they're a bit of a fade, but I thought if they do quite well, I was looking at him to be the young player of the tournament. I think. He could be a superstar in that World Cup at that age. What a talent he is! Probably one of the best young talents in world football. What a player! What a team! What an attacking lineup! What a bet over 2.5 goals! What a bet! Come on, get there. Bayern Munich will cover that on their own. Come on.
Dave Clark, they've been back to Bayern. They're minus 530 now, sporting nearly 12-1 with Bet Rivers. Carl, to be that young and starting for Bayern Munich, that is how good you are. That is how good you are if you're starting at that age for Bayern. Let's move to the second part of your daily double. First part of that daily double is over 2.5 goals in the Bayern game. PSV against Atletico Madrid. Atletico head into the game on back-to-back defeats, Nigel, away from home against Barcelona Athletic Club. And PSV, who found a lot of good form of late, they're nearly 2-1 with Bet Rivers. And I've got a feeling that PSV are going to tempt quite a few people in as their dog of the night, Nige. In this instance, I give them a bit of a live chance, but at the same time, we've got to remember Dutch football sometimes isn't as strong as we think.
No, it isn't. But they went to Liverpool 1-4-1, and we say how strong the Premier League is. And there isn't. But they also their last home match, they played Napoli, beat them 6-2. I mean, since the defeat against Union Saint-Gilloise at home, they're unbeaten. 14 matches. They got to kick up the arse and they come back and they've absolutely been incredible. And the amount of goals they're scoring in the matches in Eindhoven have been sensational to watch. Atletico Madrid, we thought they were going to do all right, but 3 successive defeats after a run of 6 wins, and all of a sudden they've dropped a little bit here. I like goals. Who would have thought that my daily double would be an over 2.5 goal parlay, where both of them are really, really heavy minus money. But that is what it is. I think this game here could be a cracker. Both sides have got to go all out to get something. PSV are currently 15th in the table. Atletico Madrid are 12th. So a winner here, the win for the side here, will get them into a good position to qualification, hopefully getting that top 8. And I think PSV are a big price. I can't see PSV losing this. I think PSV plus a half or PSV draw no bet is a bet. I do like them on the totals. 2.5. If the line is 3.5, but 2.5 is again it's heavy. It's minus money, but it boosts it up to just under. I think that's actually wrong now because I looked at it about 10 minutes ago. It was plus 106. So around bigger than even money. Bayern Munich, Sporting Lisbon over 2.5 goals, and PSV Eindhoven and Atletico Madrid over 2.5 goals. That's my daily double. Bayern Munich, Sporting Lisbon, as I said, every single match this season, Bayern Munich have been over 2.5 goals. And the way PSV Eindhoven are playing at the moment, they are scoring at least 2 goals in virtually every time they take to the pitch. So I fancy goals. Eindhoven this season in the Champions League has been the place for goals. And I think that will continue in a very, very entertaining match. And as a little bit of a prop, Gus Till, the attacking midfielder for PSV Eindhoven, he's played 15 times this season for the Dutch leaders, and he scored 10 goals. So he's very, very prolific. Hasn't scored many in the Champions League, but domestically, he's doing exceptionally well from an attacking position. I like him to have a shot on target, or maybe even more than that, having more than one shot on target, and also plus 220 to score any time. I think that's a nice prop. Hopefully the Bet Rivers Tills will be ringing with the cash, we're going to call him Cash Till rather than Gus Till. But the Cash Till could cash for us at plus 220 anytime goal score.
Wolfan Jersey says, what was the cat like today? Well, she's just got active here, so she's liking the goals here as well, mate.
That's a good sign.
Interesting stat from producer Troy there. Both teams score yet as hit in each of PSV's 11 UCL games and 11 of Atletico's last 15. So, yeah, we are expecting goals here. There's a lot of people in chat liking the goals as well. That's the official daily double. Bayern Munich Sporting, PSV Atletico Madrid. Simple case of backing over 2.5 goals in both games. Minus 103 with Bet Rivers. 60...
It has been moved. It was plus 106, Steve. It has moved. And that's because the Bayern Munich line has gone completely crazy. So the Bayern Munich line
it's the lineup from Bayern is probably even stronger than some thought. That'll be why. 66% of the money's on Atletico Madrid here, with 67% of the tickets as well. They're often popular because of their reputation, but I'm with I think Brad Vett said that it's completely different now. The system for Simeone, they're more vulnerable. This could be got a feeling. I think the draw no bet on PSV might be worth a little bit of a nibble actually, but it could be a sucker bet as well, depending. That's the angle anyway. Just looking back at some of the other comments today. Lisbon will only defend, said Tobias Depler. I mean, Bayern are capable of covering that all on their own, though. Let's move to, there's still a couple more games to discuss on the card. One of them is in Barcelona against Eintracht Frankfurt, a Frankfurt side who got absolutely demolished at the weekend. And when things go badly for Frankfurt this year, they go very, very badly. Barcelona are the clear favourites at minus 625 with Bet Rivers. Actually, they're even more at minus 670. They've been back live on air. Eintracht at plus 1300. The goal line, though, that's the thing that stands out here, Nigel. Over 4.5 goals. Yes, I repeat, 4.5 is at plus 105. That is the genuine goal line for the game. Now, back in the day, this would be an automatic under for you, Nigel, wouldn't it? But would you dare do that here?
No. No. I've learned a lot. That was the days when I had loads of hair and betting under 4.5 goals in games like this, and the hair suddenly goes and the stress comes on. I don't want to have a stress-free. I want to have a stress-free life now, so I wouldn't be betting under 4.5 goals. It's wild, though, isn't it? It's absolutely wild. You've got a 4.5 game here, and if we've done a little thing in the poll of the people watching it, I would say that a high 70% of people would be turning around and say that they want to be bet the over. It's just Barcelona, isn't it? I mean, every one of their home games this season has produced over 2.5 goals. 20 out of 21 in all competitions is over 2.5 goals. 12 out of 21 over 3.5 goals is cashed, coming in the back of a 5-3 match at the weekend. 6-0 for defeat for Frankfurt against Leipzig. They've also played a 4-3 against Cologne. They played a 5-1 against Atletico Madrid. They played a 6-4 against Gladbach. It's going to be wild, this one. It's going to be basketball. Someone said, do I like betting on basketball? This will be like a basketball match. I think there'll be so many. It'll be end-to-end and goals galore. Where do we find the value? It feels wrong to say that I'm going to bet over 4.5 because it's such a high line. And I would, if I was pushed on it, I'd probably bet the over. But would I be carrying my money at 4.5 tonight around about evens? No, I wouldn't. I think Barcelona minus 2.5 on the Asian handicap is tempting because I do expect them to score at least 3. So I would be interested in Barcelona to cover this. I think Barcelona could cover the first half handicap very, very easily. And I also quite like Yamal to score at any time. He's a decent price last I saw. Have you got it up in front of you, Steve? I've just taken that match down.
I will just put it up again, yeah. I
like Yamal. So there's a few ways to get with goals and get with Barcelona goals rather than being brave enough to play over 4.5 goals. Because if they won 4-0 and Yamal scored and they scored more and they covered the spread, you'd feel a little bit gutted. Well, I would anyway. So I think the bet for me here would be Barcelona minus 2.5 on the Asian handicap. Yamal to score. He's minus 148. He's been bet. He was minus 110. Yamal to score. He's plus 340 to score any time. And then I'd probably be looking to get with Barcelona to win, to cover the spread on the first half. I'm with Barcelona goals rather than Frankfurt games. They must be demoralised after a 6-0 loss, and the last place you want to go to is a rampant Bayern Munich. I keep saying Bayern Munich. Rampant Barcelona, who've put 5 in domestically in the weekend. So that's my thoughts of this match. But 4.5, you probably will cash, but I wouldn't be doing that. I'd look for alternatives to get with goals.
Well, yeah, I mean, the problem with this type of Frankfurter is it's like when you see in a Scottish chip shop and they're getting battered every single week against someone really bad.
I'm doing the gags round here, Steve. Come on, dude. You're the straight one. You're the Ernie Wise. I'm the Eric Morecambe. Showing my age there.
Talking of chips, Chippy Chip says there is a Bet River special for this game, and that does remind me. And I think this is a good one. Lamine Yamal, anytime scorer, and Barcelona to score 3 or more goals in the match. That is now boosted. It's plus 116 now with Bet Rivers, I do believe. So if you like Yamin to score, that's minus 148. But if you think Barcelona get 2 more goals on top of that, then you're plus 116. I think that's a good house special.
I like that because it brings into those 2 bets that I like. Yamal to score and Barcelona minus 2.5 on the Asian handicap, and you can put them in a parlay. And obviously, sometimes they're related, so you can't do that. But this is a good offer, and that would be I would rather bet that than take the over 4.5 goals in the match.
Giuseppe's having a swipe at the 8-2 correct score, which is 140 to 1 with Bet Rivers. I just checked. I mean, when I was looking at the goal lines for this game, over 7.5 goals is at plus 950. I mean, that's one of the shortest odds I've ever seen for over 7.5 in a Champions League game. It's incredible. And as you can expect, the money is very much on Barcelona. 99% of the money and 99% of the tickets on Barca. Who would be in that 1% club on Eintracht Frankfurt? Well, not many, obviously. A
lot of love for Torres here. Torres to score a hat trick at 9. I know Peter said that he's good judge. Peter, I always respect his opinion. And a lot of people think that Torres is a better bet than Yamal to score at any time. He's a bigger price with bet minus 106. So I think it's one of those games that you can make a case for a lot of Barcelona players to score. They could have 6 goals and 6 different goal scorers. So
they could. It
is that kind of match. And they are the worthy shortest odds tonight, the heaviest favourites, and justifiably so.
In the poll, we've put up 65% you think over 4.5 goals, 35% if you think under 4.5 goals. Probably more than I expected on the under 4.5 there, actually.
Well, that makes the -1, that's even money 4.5. So that makes it, if the general consensus is that's saying it should be -$2, you get even money. Yeah. So
yeah, I think that'll kick off at minus money over 4.5 goals. By the way, I think everyone's going to be on it. Anyway, one more game to discuss. It is in London. Tottenham Hotspur against Slavia Prague. Tottenham are the favourites. Slavia Prague knocking on the door of plus 650. Spurs with a really, really important win the weekend, Nigel, against Brentford for Thomas Frank. I think this might be a bit of a dour game myself.
Absolutely.
I like the under 3 Asian goal line here.
That's exactly the same as me.
Yeah, and I know you like another bet as well in the fixture.
Well, there's a couple of things. I mean, I'm based in London. I'm in London, and the weather is awful. The rain hasn't stopped all day. It hasn't stopped raining in London for probably like 12 days on the succession. So it's going to be a horrible, wet, horrible night tonight. So the conditions aren't good. And I think Thomas Frank just takes any win however he can. It doesn't matter if it's 1-0, messy, whatever. Slavia Prague will come here to defend for their lives. Tottenham have an awful home record. I think they've only won, 4 home matches in a calendar year? I think that's what it is. I think the 4th match was Brentford at the weekend. So again, minus 235. They should win. I like under 2.5 goals here at plus 120. I love the under 3 goals at minus 143, but it's a bit of a jump, isn't it? Minus 143 to plus 120 is a bit of a jump. All their defeats and all the goals they've conceded have been on the road. 5-3 Paris Saint-Germain wild, 2-2 over in Monaco. At home, 4-0 Copenhagen, 0-0 Monaco. Sorry, that was away. 4-0 Copenhagen and 1-0 Villarreal. It was Bodo Glimt that was 2-2. So they haven't conceded a goal at home. 4-0 Copenhagen, 1-0 Villarreal. Both wins to 0. And if you look at Slavia Prague this season, away they went to Inter, lost 3-0. Atlanta drew 0-0. At home they lost 3-0 to Ajax, and they drew 0-0 as well against Atletico Bilbao. So they haven't scored in the last 4 matches, and I don't think they're going to score here tonight. I think Tottenham have problems from attacking positions, from defensive positions. I think they're pretty solid, and I like Tottenham to win to 0 here at plus 133. I think this will be 1-0, 2-0 Tottenham. Job done. Get on to the weekend. Get a very, very morale-boosting win. It's very important for the team to get a win into European competitions. Obviously, they got to the Europa League final last year. I think that's very important. And I think if you're looking for a prop here, the prop I like is Van der Ven. Van der Ven is being Tottenham's top goal scorer this season. He goes from very, very attacking positions. He goes forward from corners. He has shots. He scored worldly goals. He's probably been Tottenham's best player this season for more than 1.5 shots. He's plus 210. And if you want to look him to score anytime, Van der Ven would be my bet. And to get that, he's 4.30 to score anytime and $12 to score the first goal. I can't see the Tottenham strikers being much of a threat. Richarlison is plus 350, but Van der Ven has been the go-to man in these big matches, and I expect him to do well tonight in a match, both defensively and from attacking point of view. But Tottenham to win to 0 is plus 133, 1 or 2-0, under 2.5, under 3, and Van der Ven at a big price prop.
Yeah, I really do like that under 3 Asian goal line at -136. It'd be, for me, the second best bet of the day. I've seen quite a bit of Slavia Prague, and they only play one way when they're the serious underdog. They're parking the bus. They're going to make themselves difficult to break down. I'm not sure that suits Thomas Frank, to be honest. I think Thomas Frank's better as an underdog sometimes. So you're right. I think 1-0, 2-0 Spurs is very much on the cards here. A bit of a dour, dismal game. There is 90% of the money on Spurs, 79% of the tickets. And just 66% of the money is on the over. Their home record is like you said, really, really poor in this calendar year. There's a bloke I know, I used to play cricket against him, and I saw on the social media at the weekend that he actually took his 2 lads to watch them against Brentford. He lives in Guernsey now. So a rare good win there for his 2 lads to see that, but it's not been happening every day of the week.
Them poor lads from Guernsey to see Tottenham. I mean, God, they must be... What's he done to the? They've been bad this Christmas, obviously.
He actually said that is their punishment.
They've been on the naughty step this year for Christmas.
Yeah, he said something like that.
Local paper in Tottenham gives, it said at the moment you've got 2 tickets for the first prize for in a competition was 2 tickets for the Tottenham v Slavia Prague. Second prize was 4 tickets. So there you go. So
You're going to give everyone a reminder of the daily double. There it is. Bayern
goals. Bayern Munich sporting over 2.5 goals. Every single Bayern Munich match this season has been cashed over 2.5 goals. Very attacking lineup. Sporting Lisbon without a lot of their attacking players, but I still think they've got a chance to score in this. And PSV Eindhoven against Atletico Madrid, a match that both sides have to go all out to get a win for them. They're nice, finely poised between those automatic positions and those playoff positions. It'll be a feisty affair. PSV have been on fire since they got beat by Union, unbeaten in 14 matches, score a load of goals at home. I know over 2.5 goals there. It pays -103. So double your money. That'll do for me. The line is 3.5. We'll be going 1 under to boost that daily double up to -103.
Is that your best bet of the day? Just that double?
I think this. I mean, to daily double, you've got to put in something to boost the price up. You've got to go slower to get the price up. I quite like. I like a PSV draw no bet against Atletico Madrid. I think they've got a great chance tonight, but I was going to be a little bit brave. I like Usman to score anytime. I think that's a cracking bet at +110. And I quite like the dullness of what the Tottenham game offers me. And there's various different markets where I'm going to play to make that as dull as possible. And I can rest assured that I will not be watching it. That's real. But I haven't a bet on it, but I think it's going to be go. And just another, just an update. There's 70 minutes on the back. We've got 20 minutes left in this Kairat Olympiakos match. Still 0-0. Still 0-0. +850, +118. The tie is -104. And it's half a goal game now over. So you think it's be a goal, -162. If you think it stays 0-0, it's +120. And I think we've had 3 yellow cards. Yes, we have 3 yellow cards in this match. Hasn't really kicked off like I expect, but there's still 20 minutes to go. Still time for that. Thank you, everyone who joined live or on demand. We are just 5 away from the 12,000 subscribers mark. Come on, we've got about 300 people in this viewing here, and I don't believe all 300 of you have subscribed to the channel. And I'm pleased, it's Christmas time. Do us a favor. We do this every day. We try to give you some gifts, try to give you some helping hands along the way. All we ask you is hit the subscribe button, get us up to 12,000. Now make our Christmas, and hopefully we can get 2 million views before then as well, which will be fantastic as well. So thank you very much for everyone who has subscribed and watches. And we'll see them all again tomorrow with the great man Will White back with Steve. Yeah, back with Will White tomorrow, also for the breakdown as well later on after the matches have concluded. And for those who are subscribed to the channel and have hit the bell icon, they're going to get a notification very soon because the dojo will be released imminently. So check out for that. And Betting Weekly Live US will be on later with Doug Kazarian and Mike Carver at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks very much, Nigel. Enjoyed that. Cheers, mate. Take care. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. Gamble responsibly. I'll see you tomorrow on Betting Weekly Live.